Life isn't fair. Fair is somewhere you to go to. Fair is somewhere you go to ride the dodgems and win a goldfish," said Mark Billingham. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is the third episode of our mini campaign of Dirty Secrets. This is a story game that takes on the detective genre by having the players introduce story elements and suspicious characters that ultimately form a pattern as the investigator puts the pieces together. One player is the investigator and the others are authorities. Let us go around and introduce everyone. Let us start today with Lulu. Hello.
Hello, my name is Lulu. In this game, I usually play a fun, loving, fantastic girl called Poppy. You know, we all love her, but unfortunately she's not that smart. On other channels, you may have seen me playing other characters, including On Almighty Tales and Winged Horizon.
Poppy has been delightful. This was wonderful last episode. And let us move on to Anino. Hello.
Hey, my name's Anino, variety gamer, charity gamer, and I think I'm up first. Is that right?
Yeah, you're going to be the first authority today.
Yeah, all right. So, kind of looking forward to that. I think my most original character contributed so far is Dr. Marcus Alexander, who has so far not given the investigator her comeuppance. So that'll be fun, right?
Yeah. You have to see what happens. This is going to be interesting. I just realized it's Marcus, and I had Mark written down there. I have changed it to Marcus. There we go. Excellent. And now, let us introduce our investigator. Dingo, hello.
Hi, I'm Dingo, she, her. I'm the investigator. I'm playing Danny Sullivan, who's just trying her best, man. On her first case, we've already got 2 murders and a blackmail. Nowhere near solving that blackmail. Who knows what's going on there? But yeah, that's me. That's what's going on.
This is going to get very interesting because we're now at a point. If folks will cast their eyes to the novella Crime Grid, they may note that that pawn is in a place where it cannot move into a space without a name on it. So there's a chance we might actually find out who's guilty of something shortly. But in the meantime, before we dive into all that, this is a game that's very much about vice, corruption, and people in pain doing terrible things to each other. So just so you folks will know, we are doing the X card, the N card, and the O card. We're going to have those available. If we hit something that's crossing a line for you, any of the players can type in an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that you're okay having in the game, but you don't want a graphic description of it, type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if you're in the midst of intense role-playing and you think we might be worried you're really upset out of character, you can put an O in the chat to let us know that you're okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we say or do something and then think maybe it might be a bit too much. Then everyone else can respond to that and let us know they're doing okay. While the characters might end up seeing quite a lot of torment, we want to make sure that does not happen to the players. And our setting for this game is Seattle, a place some call the Emerald City. So before we get into our first sequence of the game, Dingo, do you think you're up to doing a bit of narration from Danny's perspective of what happened last time?
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a shot again. All right, so
you can always say no if you want to. I just want to make sure this is true.
I mean, might as well.
That's a noir trope. Yeah.
I think so we left off in Danny's office. So I think I kind of want to pick up there. I think we always return back to this sort of in-between scene. I think we see Poppy maybe taking a nap on the couch, and Danny's back at her desk. I think behind it she's got this, like, you know, that crime board, the bulletin board with the string and the note cards and the pictures. as she's sort of looking over it, and we hear the narration go. Pieces are starting to fall, but not exactly into place. I've got so many pieces of the puzzle and none of them fit together. I talked to my mom. Well, I might have also searched her computer. I've never been the best daughter. But I found an interesting exchange between Dr. Alexander and my mom. Some sort of large quantity of money. For what it is, I don't know. It's certainly not investigative services. It's way too much money. I checked out the roses. That's... I don't understand what's going on there. It's like a fencing place, but it seems much shadier than that, as I was soon to find out. But I saw Alicia Servano there, which was interesting. One of those wants to make everything, one of those popular internet stars wants to make everything open source. I don't have anything that ties her directly to the case other than the roses. But it seems like someone that wants everything to be open source would threaten the CEO of a major new app. So I went and talked to Logan again, back at his office. Seemed kind of shady when I mentioned Servano, but got nothing out of him. I did happen to get an unfortunate eyeful of a, we'll say classy but compromising photo of my mom. I don't know how I feel working for him anymore, but paycheck's a paycheck. Other than that, he seems very keen on me staying away from the roses, but I did get an invite to the pre-release party. And finally, I went back to the roses after checking that bug I left on Dr. Alexander, and finally, I got something. It was garbled, but it was something about the roses, something about a Wendell Hagen, some kind of extended leave. That's about all I got. He seems to be working with Poppy, although Poppy's sort of hesitant to give up any useful information. Bless her soul. She seems like an airhead, but I suspect that there's more in there than she's letting on. So I went and checked out the roses again and found myself face to face with another murder. Poppy and I barely got out of there, and honestly, all signs right now point to it being her, but I don't even know who the victim was. That may be something I have to go find out, but in the meantime, Logan's been blowing up my phone. Seems like he's been contacted. Better find out what it is.
Excellent. All right. So our first sequence, we will have Anino is the authority, and so the way rules is written, the way you do this is you pitch a sequence, and then Anino can either accept that or block with a different sequence. So go in. So what would you like to do?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm torn between wanting to talk to Dr. Alexander and wanting to talk to Logan because he was blowing up my phone last time and clearly had something to say. So I think I'll do an investigation scene, and I'm gonna call Logan. I'll step out onto the fire escape, and Danny picks up her phone and dials him.
Anino, were you going with that, or did you have something else you wanted to?
You're muted.
My bad. Yeah, we can go with that.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah,
All
she
right.
gives him a call.
So just after a second, he answers, and let me see. Okay, how does the Rock get angry? Okay, okay. That's right. Where have you been?
I mean, I've just been poking my head into some things, checking out some leads. It's Logan. It's like, what in the morning? What do you
I've been
need?
trying to contact you for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, cell reception was a little dicey.
Well, while you were out doing looking into whatever it is you were looking into, I'm guessing maybe some of that crap I told you to stay away from. They got Connie.
Who got Connie?
The people who were trying to blackmail me.
What? Okay. Were you there when it happened? Did she just not? How do you know?
Hang on. Are you in your office right now?
I'm on the fire escape.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right there.
Great. She hangs up. Connie, are we declaring a crime?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Well, maybe. Possibly there's a kidnapping going on. It's not one of our 3 official crime slots are full, but we can say that there's also a kidnapping.
Yeah, I think Danny climbs back into the office through the window, and sort of wakes. What's that?
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. So, if I remember correctly, it looks like we have 3 crimes listed.
Yeah.
So, I think the third one, that murder, wasn't that the murder of Connie?
Well, the third one was a murder. They hadn't identified who the body was yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the second murder?
The second murder was, and actually this one also Danny doesn't fully know about yet, but it's suspected to be Wendell Hagen.
Okay.
Which is why I wrote his description as socialite pincushion.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Danny climbs in the window. She shakes Poppy awake and says, "Poppy, get up!
What?
Go hide in the bathroom.
What?
One of
Hide
my
in the
clients is
bathroom?
coming here. Just go hide in the bathroom for just like 20 minutes."
Oh, cauliflower, let's go. And she'll like grab a pillow and cauliflower and like drag herself off to the bathroom. Go sleep on the tiles.
Trying to wonder if cauliflower might be one of our suspects. No, anyway.
Listen, cauliflower's done nothing wrong.
That you know of.
I refuse to believe.
It's probably too. It's probably too lethargic to actually want to commit murder. Blackmail, maybe. I don't know. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
she rushes Poppy into the bathroom, closes the door, and then sits at her desk and waits for Logan.
Okay.
Probably brewing another pot of coffee.
I think it probably doesn't take him too long. As he was, I feel like he was probably, if we're good with this, I feel like he was out being driven around, and so he's probably not very far away necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it's nighttime, you don't have to worry about well, I forget, is your office inside a is it like an internal front door, or is the front door?
It's an internal front door, so
okay.
it's inside of a building.
So there's probably like a hall light. Once again, the light gets blotted out on the front door, and it just kind of just turns and opens, and he'll come in, looking a little bit. He's looking a little worse for wear. He's not, he's he doesn't have hair, so it's not messed up. But it's just basically, just kind of like his clothes are a little, not like horribly disheveled, but it's like he's clearly under a bit of stress right now.
Mm-hmm. A little rumpled.
Yeah. And so yeah, probably his tie is doing like this crap. So he comes in. He's like, he looks behind and closes the door behind him. All right, look. They called about 2 hours ago, a little over. It was kind of, that initial message they left me was kind of sort of disjointed. This was kind of too, but they were talking through some kind of distorter.
Figures.
And, they're doing some kind of weird. Okay. Well, what they said, they want me to bring the money and a thumb drive with Lit Katie on it to the pre-release party tomorrow, and they'll give me instructions there. Then they sent me a picture. Well, they also said something else was kind of weird, but anyway, they sent me this picture, and he holds up his phone, and you see it's Connie, and her eyes are closed. And it looks like she might be seated in a chair or something. Her head's lolling back a bit. It's very close, though. It's hard to really make out a lot of detail about where she is or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I can see anything kind of in the background.
It's like a dark background. They did like maybe there's like a scrim or something back there, but it's entirely black behind her.
Okay, when's the last time you saw Connie?
It was, I think it was... Now, Jim is trying to remember what he said the last time you talked to him, because I think I had said that
Connie wasn't there when I went and spoke to him in the afternoon.
Yeah. Although, now Jim is remembering something else. Well, I mean, I haven't seen her since before we talked last, but I talked to her for a few minutes. We had a conversation on the phone. It was not pleasant.
What happened?
Well, she was... There's just... she was worried about all these things coming in. She was pressing me for information about what's going on with, why you're there. Since I think she thought you were something else.
No, I got that impression.
Yeah. And
would there be reason for her to be upset about that?
I don't think so. What for your... Which thing?
The me being around.
Oh. She's very... she wants to make absolutely sure everything's going right? So, right. I don't know. She thinks that maybe if there's an investigator snooping around that I'm going to start, swinging an axe or something. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's a possibility. But, no, she told me she was wanting to... She was just pressing me for information about about what's going on, and she said that she had figured some things out and she was going to take care of it, and then that was about it. For the most part. And then, they call and they show me this picture, and then they give me this weird political message, and then they give me instructions, and that's it.
What political message?
Oh, I don't know. They said it's just free. They said, what was it at the end? The Tempest is coming.
The Tempest is coming.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Like Caliban and Prospero and Ariel and the whole Shakespeare, the whole cast?
I don't know. I haven't been to the theater in ages.
I'm surprised you've been to the theater at all.
Hey,
With how busy you are.
It's been a while. But look, these people, they have her. I don't know if she's... I don't even know. I mean, look at this freaking thing. I can't even tell if she's alive or dead.
How far apart was it between you getting that phone call from Connie and then the blackmailers calling you?
I want to say it was... Wait a minute. He goes through his phone. Yeah, about an hour and a half.
It's not very long. Do you know where she was going to take care of things?
No, I was trying to call her back, and she was out of either she was out of range or she just wasn't picking up. I left like 10 messages on her phone after that.
Okay, maybe there's something in her desk that can point me to where she is. In the meantime, we need to figure out what the Tempest is. But I suspect it might have something to do with Servano.
Alicia Serrano?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, she gets kind of political sometimes.
The queen of the open source?
Yeah.
You don't think that she would want the code to...
Okay, yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Wow. Okay.
Have you met her personally? Do you run in the same circles?
Oh, yeah, I've met her.
Have you had any contact with her?
Yeah, I've met her a few times.
Where'd you meet her?
Mostly through work.
Do you know if she's on the list for the pre-release party?
She is on the list for the pre-release party, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go check out Connie's desk, and I'll get back to you with anything that I find.
Okay. All right, look. Actually, I'm trying to decide if he'd say this at this point or not. Ah, okay. Let me let me ask the authority. Anino, would at this time, do you think, would Sam mention the other place that he knows, or refer to the other place that he knows Alicia from? Since he knows that Danny might know a bit about it at this point. Do you think he would, or do you think he wouldn't?
I don't think he would, because I feel like he's still trying to avoid Danny stumbling across some of the more illicit stuff that he's been doing, which is, in line with why he wouldn't tell her about the roses or his involvement with the roses.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's so he doesn't he doesn't say the additional thing. He's just like, all right, fine. You need anything else? I'll get you into the office. It's fine.
Yeah, if you can get me into the office, and if you think of anything at all, I need to know it. You just call me, okay?
All right. Look. Keep your head down, okay? Just make sure you're good at this. You started this, right? I mean, I don't want to throw anything at you that's going to be too much for you.
It's not going to be too much for me.
Okay.
Got to get the experience somehow, right?
It's fair. All right. He fishes in his pocket, and he's like, "All right, I gotta get this crap set. You know what? Here." He gives you a key card. That'll get you into everything.
Okay. Yeah, and I think she
I think you cut out for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, oops, sorry. My internet's been
I was
whacked.
like, and she then it was just pause, and it looked like you were done.
That's it. I'm done. No, I think she holds the door for him as he as he walks out, and she sort of slams it behind him, and then we see her going and getting her coat. I think
And Poppy
that's
was
where I'm
like,
going to
"Did you
end.
have a fight? Why'd you slam the door?"
Back to sleep.
Excellent. Is that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we are at that scene, and then it is time for us to
I'm so excited for this.
see what happens here. All right, so here's what we got to do with our repercussions here. So I'm going to need you to make 2 rolls. These are d6s again, so that we can determine where the pawn is going to land on the grid.
Roll 2d6.
Well, 1d6 and another d6 because we don't need to add them together necessarily. Well, we will still be able to see what they are. So yeah.
Well, it's too late. I'm rolling 1.
Feel free.
So that's a 4.
Okay, so that's across the top, I think probably. So, yeah.
Are we going up and then across?
Yeah,
or are we
they say
going
to roll the red
across?
die first and then the not red die. So it's I think if I recall correctly. So the red die is supposed to be the across the top.
Gotcha.
I think. Yeah. Roll 1 red die and I have another color and move the witness to the grid space indicated by the dice. So we can decide which one of those is the red die, but I guess we'll say that was the first one.
Yeah, and the second one is a 5.
So 4, 5. Okay, so you're actually not. You're actually not gonna hit. If it had been the other way around, you would have hit someone.
Right?
But if it's 4, 5, then that is.
That's here.
Yep, that's there. So go ahead and move the pawn down there, and write a name in it.
I'm actually gonna write down Constance.
Okay. We narrowly avoided having a. We narrowly avoided solving the case. Congratulations, everyone.
We still haven't done it. All right. On to the next scene.
Yep. So this is gonna move. I'm sorry, I'm just grabbing this up. Here we are. There I am. Okay, let me grab the gavel here. Turn it back around so I can put it in the part of the screen where I want it. There it is. All right, you go up there. And once more, I am the authority. Yay! Power corrupts.
I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for authorities? It just happens. As if by magic. What sort of scene would you like to do?
Oh, I think I want to do a revelation, unless you had something else in mind. I see the wheels turning.
The wheels are turning, but if we do a revelation, then I'll still be the authority. So I'm curious to see where this goes. So, yeah, we can do a revelation.
Okay. Let's see if I remember how to do revelation. I can pick one of the people in the relationship. Yes.
So that's if you want to. You can either choose the one of the people or choose the nature of the relationship. I think that's one of the.
I'm going to choose one of the people.
All right.
I'm going to choose Constance.
All right.
She's
So Constance is going to be one of the people in there. Or define the nature. Okay, so just making sure I still have to go back to this and make sure I'm doing this right every time. Okay, so investigator shuffles the remaining character cards, and draws 2 of them as 2 characters of previous layers. Okay, just select one of the characters, the character then wishes to play. Plays another, then chooses one character who will not be involved in the relationship, or chooses a relationship type that the investigator must reroll. Okay. So now, so I must decide. I have to either rule a person out or a relationship type out. And who do I want to? I don't think I want to rule anybody out.
Okay.
On this one necessarily. Yeah. I think we can keep everyone on the board here. Although. Yeah, I know. Well, the only thing I'm thinking is that the last time we did a revelation, we ended up with a connection with Dr. Alexander. I was thinking about taking him off the board for that. It's either that or... Yeah, I'd actually like to, but I don't know. We see she could have another relation. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take Dr. Alexander off the board for this one and leave it at these 3. See what happens. So, we have Logan, Hagen, Poppy, Constance, Viv, and Alicia. That's a D6.
All right.
It's a lot of people.
We've still got room for like 3 more characters if we want to throw them in there.
All right, that is a 2.
Okay, so that is Wendell Hagen.
Interesting.
All right. And now you roll another D6 and we'll find out what that connection type is.
All right.
It's going to be interesting no matter what it lands on. Sexual / romantic.
All right.
Okay, so after the investigator determines the relationship, then narrates how the investigator discovered this information. The investigator has complete jurisdiction for this narration. Okay, so Danny is about to discover a connection of a romantic nature between Connie and Wendell. How does she do this?
I think as Danny is heading back into, I don't think she wasted any time. She goes right to Lit Katie's offices and goes to Constance's desk. You can always find good things in desks. I think she finds these love letters signed from Wendell. And they sound more desperate as she sort of reads through each one. And I think the last one was a little bit of blood on it.
Excellent. Good. I'm curious to know when the last letter came out. Do you think?
So the last letter, and this one was very frantic. The handwriting looks just awful. I mean, it's clearly the same person, but just like they were in a rush or like they were very emotional. And it's dated probably, how long ago did we say that? Let me notes.
It was like
I don't know how long ago we said he disappeared.
Yeah, I think it was like a year and a half ago, something like that. Year and a half to it was like after the incident with the that we also haven't explained fully. But
I'm gonna say this one was 6 months ago.
Ooh.
We were actually discussing that earlier today.
Yeah, we were trying to. Yes, we were. Excellent. Good. All right. Is that the entirety of that sequence?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so now you may propose another sequence.
Okay. I want to talk to Marcus again, but I'm going to hold off on that.
Oh, cool. I can take a break. I'll be back in 30.
I think, not to harp on the roses again, but I think Danny's going back there again.
Now, are you doing it
that's where all the bad things happen. Am I doing what?
Are you wanting to do that night, or are you doing it the next morning?
No, I'm going to do it that night. There's a body down there. I'm going to figure out who it is.
So,
unless you have a different.
I
scene
do.
In mind. Oh, of course. I don't even know why you made me propose one.
I wanted an idea of the timeline first, so that I wanted to kind of figure out where the timeline was in your head, because I didn't want to jump past it necessarily.
Listen, I'm flexible.
I'm going to propose a violence sequence.
Oh, God. No.
Bloodthirsty. Wow.
Just a wee bit. Well, we're at that time in the narrative when usually I feel as though it's time for the investigator to get attacked.
No.
So, let me see.
Haven't I been through enough?
All of my window.
Not even.
I'm not familiar with this enough question. I'm not. Those words all sound like English, but they don't make sense to me in that order. So let's see here. Let me actually pull up my instructions real quick that I put together, because I did not pull that up yet. Okay, where is that? That is conflict summary. Yay. Okay. So I would propose that you are, and this is like, unless someone wants to appeal this, this is going to be while you're on the way to the roses.
I don't think I'm going to appeal it. I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Paint me a word picture.
Is it a car chase?
It is a car chase.
Oh my God, yes!
So as you are, so basically, let me go ahead and, damn it, I think I don't think this music is fast enough, but we're going to play it anyway. So as you are on the way there, you see this big black SUV-looking vehicle pulls up very sharply next to you and starts trying to cut you off and run you off the road.
No.
So, it is time for a conflict, a violence conflict.
Yay!
So, the funny thing about the violence conflict is we don't use violence dice. It actually, the violence will happen by default.
Wait a minute. Have we ever done this before?
We have never done this before.
Oh shoot! I thought I knew what was happening. Turns out I don't.
It's very similar to the other one, but it's a couple things. Also the bidding is a tiny bit different, but it's first of all, I make the first bid. The authority makes the first bid. And then also, once the die face is set, it cannot be changed. So first off, establish the goals of the conflict on both sides. Can be in character or out of character. This car wishes to smash you into pancakedom.
Okay.
Those are my goals right now.
My goal is to figure out who is in that car.
Excellent. So I have 3 dice. I still have not had a... Well, wait, I accepted a sequence from you. So I think I get a die back.
Is that how that works?
Yes, actually it is. If I that's another reason to accept a sequence from the investigator is is that I get I get a die back. So I think I actually have 4 dice. The authority may
Boo.
If the investigator is if the authority must accept any sequence, the investigator and authority may not assist. Yeah, I think that's in there. I believe that is how it works.
I trust you.
Get it. All right. So I'm going to be using 4 dice. You have the ability to call up to 5 if you so desire.
I'm gonna.
All right. So you're gonna draw 5 dice from that deck. Let me see here.
Oh wait, from the violence deck or the regular?
From the regular deck. Yeah, the violence deck is only for violence dice, which we're not using, ironically enough, in the violence conflict.
Okay.
And I'm gonna deal 4 cards to myself. All right. No violence dice are used. Draw dice from the gray deck. You'll do a nice pool. There we go. So I've got 4 of those. And I make a bid. And then let me take a look at my dice to see what I'm bidding here. Oh, God. Okay. Also, 1s are not wild in a violence conflict, just so you're aware.
Rude.
So we are not using the smaller spaces, these smaller ones that are for ace bids. I shall wager that there are 3 3s. That is my bid. And I'm not going to re-roll anything. Now, so I put that on the conflict track. Was the die face first and I change? The other player, you can either make a higher bid or you can call.
Okay.
And this is the dice that we both are going to be holding at the end.
Now a higher bid, is that like higher
more
number
3s at this point because it's a violence conflict.
Okay, so I can only say more 3s.
Yes, if you want to make a counter bid. But you can re-roll before or after you do that if you so desire.
No, I think I'm going to call.
All right. So we are going to drag our dice out. Let's see, the other player, when you call a bid, you may not roll your dice. Both players reveal all their dice by dragging them into their respective squares and flipping them over. Here we go. All right. And only if I am overbidding will I lose this. But let's see.
Oh, only if you're overbidding.
Yes, they should, yeah.
Okay.
Now I haven't actually looked at the dice that are in there yet, so if you want to take back, we can do that.
No.
I cannot see what they are right now. If you wish, I will look up at the screen now to see what you have. But
no,
okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Damn it.
So So whoever made the last bid, if your bid is less than or equal to the number of dice of the appropriate value, you win. Yay. The violence level of the scene is equal to the difference between the last bid and the number of matching dice. If the bid is equal to the number of matching dice, there is no violence. Damn it. The winner of the conflict narrates the conclusion of the scene. They must include any resulting violence, which must be physical, which can be distributed among as many characters as the winner chooses. No pushes are permitted. If 3 violence is dealt to the investigator, the authority regains any lost dice and gains a bonus investigation sequence, which I do not get. But in a violence sequence, you don't actually lose any dice if you lose. So
right.
I get narration, but I don't get to cause you harm.
No pancakes today.
No pancakes today. Your car, on the other hand, I can do whatever I want to. So,
No.
Tell me, do they have bridges in Seattle?
Probably.
Excellent.
Not in like this. Well, actually, I don't know about in the city proper, but we could just say there.
Do they have overpasses of any kind?
Yes, they do have overpasses.
Ah, excellent. Good. That'll do. So, I believe that. So, what happens is that as you are, as you're trying to get away from this thing, a second car comes and slams at you from behind.
No.
You spin, and your car tumbles off the edge of an overpass, actually about where it connects. So you go over a couple of times. The car ends up upside down on this little hillock, shall we say. Smoke rising from it. And the vehicles up on the bridge proceed on. In the meantime, you are unharmed, relatively. So,
does the vehicle go over the overpass?
So,
Does it go over the edge?
I'm imagining, yeah, that it went sort of, you know, so say like it's just coming up and there's like a sort of a lip you could get over that would cause the car to tumble onto the sort of the hill that the thing is on. Is that what?
Yes.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, I think it does.
Yeah, basically, so it's the edge of the overpass is what you ended up going. So you did go over the edge, but
Okay.
at one end, which is probably one of the things that saved your life.
Yeah, I think she climbs out of the car very, very carefully, and is standing kind of on the side of the road. Can I? Wait, does this end the?
It does in fact end the sequence, yes. But I did want to see if you were going to climb out or what.
Yeah, I'm climbing out.
All right, you're okay. Miraculously enough, your car is not okay. So, now that we're at the end of this does end the chapter. So, you may go ahead and move the witness one space.
Let's go up here. Oops, I forgot how to do text. I'm putting Alicia Servano in here.
All right. And there we are. Yay!
Okay.
All right, and Lulu is the authority for the next chapter.
I think you muted. What did you say?
I muted my mic. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's okay. So Lulu, unless you have a different sequence in mind,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do an investigation sequence, and I'm gonna hop in a taxi right after this crash, and I'm gonna have them follow those SUVs.
I'm gonna say yes just because I really, really want to see that.
The chasee has become the chaser.
I want to see a taxi car race. Alright. So you're in an overpass, so do you have to get back up onto the road, or?
Yeah, I think she climbed out and onto like one of the sidewalks along the overpass, and I think she just immediately waves down a taxi, hops in, and tells them like, follow that SUV. And she slips them like an extra couple of $100, just like
So you're
on the
taking, like,
dash.
Wow, you're really one wealthy private investigator.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, wandering around with cash.
Listen,
Dang.
those are my only two. Those are my only 200s I have. The rest that I have is like $11 in my debit account.
Spent the rest on drinks last night.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sad. Alright. Yeah, so you jump in the taxi. And how long, I mean, it probably wouldn't have taken you that long to get back up. So I imagine that you can sort of see like the back of one of the cars that you probably recognize and just yell like chase that one. Okay, so if she's chasing, is that another violence?
You can do that as another conflict if you want, certainly. It doesn't have to be a violence conflict. It can be. Since this is the scene that it can typically under the rules this would be a regular conflict, but I mean you can say you can go to a violence conflict if you want to. It's up to you.
I'd be okay with it being a regular conflict.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just sort of checking. I wasn't quite sure.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
It's my first time.
Oh, no worries. So, I'll go ahead and so let's see. I will go ahead and so you each, I think, have 5 cards. So you each draw 5 from the gray deck.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and let me pull this back up real quick so I can help moderate. First, establish the goals of the conflict on both sides.
Okay. Danny, do you want to go first?
My goal is for this card to lead me to whoever's blackmailing Logan. Can I be that specific?
Well, we're gonna the blackmailer is gonna eventually. We won't be able to absolutely know for certain that that's them until the crime grid points to someone.
Okay. Then my goal is to
Maybe get like information.
Yeah, lead me to some information about the blackmail without me being noticed.
Okay.
All right. And Lulu, your goals?
I think my goal is just to get away without her getting anything.
Okay. And
Just
again,
get around.
you're not bound to these per se. It's just they want you to establish up front sort of what's going on, and so you each announce that you have 5 dice, and it's fine. So you each draw 5 dice. Are you? And now I must ask each of you: are you aiming for violence?
I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So now that you have your dice, you may each choose a die from the violence deck.
Okay.
And so you go down to choose, and you select whatever die face you want.
Okay.
But
and that's only going to come into play if you don't end up rolling anything during the whole thing. But this is the only. So there is a certain amount of strategy involved here, but it depends on how you want to. If you want to shape the like, say for example, it's like I want there to be violence. I have a lot of 3s. I'm going to pick a 3. But I don't want to say that I want there to be a lot of violence in case it doesn't end up being, that kind of thing. And so once you've got those, let me know when you've got those, and we'll go to the next step.
Okay, yeah, I've got my violence and my other.
do I
one.
deal it or do I pull it into my hand?
You pull it into your hand.
How do I
Oh.
So you choose it. You don't deal. You don't hit
Okay.
deal. Just hit choose.
Yeah, you should know what
Yeah.
the number is, right? Because you chose it.
Yeah.
So choose and then.
Just checking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It won't go into my hand though. How do I put it in my hand?
Okay. Is it that one that's sitting there?
It's the bottom one.
Yeah, I can see yours, but I can't see your numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see if I
I
can.
We're
give
all
this
set.
I know
to
what
you.
number it is.
I
We've all
can't-
got
I
secrets.
can't give it to you. You should be able to right-click it and pick it up. I just moved it, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay, take card. There we go.
Excellent. And
Okay, mine's up here too.
yeah, you can just right-click it and pick it up.
Oh, I can move the whole map. I can't move the dice. But that's alright. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to move that.
Is that yours there?
Yeah, that's mine.
If you right-click it, do you get the thing that you can pick up the card? Take card?
Take card, yeah.
There
Oh,
you go.
okay. Thank you.
Cool, no problem. All right, and now I'm going to roll the violence die. And that came out to a 2. And now the investigator makes the first bid. And I'm going to go ahead and move this back down so you can do whatever you want with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna bid that there are at least two 5s. Did I do that right?
Yes, you did. Just double checking a thing here real quick. There we go. Yeah, sometimes I have to update the.
And so then I bid, and then she can call or bid again.
So then, yes. Sorry, I was looking at 20 things at once. I realized that the screen hadn't updated for everyone. So yeah, so you can either. Sorry. Let me. I'm not doing my job here.
Sorry.
If you are bidding, you may re-roll some of your dice before or after you declare your bid. So, Dingo, did you want to re-roll any of your dice?
I do.
Okay. When you re-roll, you must keep at least one of your dice and reveal it. Drag any die you're revealing into the box marked with your roll, investigator in this case, and flip it over to reveal it. And then drag any dice you want to re-roll onto the Roll20 background but away from the playing area. Leave them unrevealed. And draw the same number of dice from the gray deck.
Okay, so I'm revealing one.
Okay, that's a die you're keeping.
Yeah.
All right. And
do I have to reveal all the dice that I'm keeping?
Nope. Just you only have to reveal at least one of them.
Okay.
You can if you want, but you don't have to.
And then
yeah, drag away any dice that you want to replace, and draw that same number of dice from the deck.
okay, I drew 2.
Okay.
2 more.
And so then you put the conflict marker up. We're already there. For conflict die up there, and the other player can then either make a higher bid or call. So Lulu, it's to you.
I'd like to call.
All right. So when you call, you may not re-roll your dice. Both players reveal all their dice by dragging them into the respective squares and flipping them over.
So much dragging.
There is much draggery. You do not actually. You don't do it with the violence die. You can keep the violence die out of
Yep.
it. The violence die, you do something else.
Sorry. I pulled it back. Ah, dang it.
All right. Let's see here. The bid is 2 5s, and Danny made that bid. There are effectively 4 5s because ones are wild. This is a regular sequence. As far as
I forgot that ones are wild.
Yeah. But so you do win because you didn't go over. Let's see. Both players realize when any number of the match remember ones are wild. Whoever made the last bid, if your bid is equal to the number of dice per value, you win. If you are holding a violence die and you made a reroll during the exchange, so Dingo, that would be you.
Yes.
Drag your violence die out onto the Roll20 background away from the playing area, leaving it unrevealed. And then don't choose a die from the violence deck and drag it onto the inside part of the conflict track. So you're actually throwing away your violence die because you made a reroll.
Okay.
And then you're drawing a new one at random.
Okay, so draw one. Okay, I have it.
And go ahead and drag it out onto the conflict track near where that other red die is.
And do I flip it?
Yep. 6. Okay. So it does not match. And then, if you're holding a violence die and did not make a reroll during the exchange, Lulu, that's you. Drag your violence die onto the inside part of the conflict track near the common violence die and flip it over to reveal it.
That was the wrong one.
So you take the die that you already are holding and pull that out onto the conflict track.
Onto the conflict track.
Yeah. And flip it over. All right, it's 4. Okay. We have no violence dice matching the 5, so we don't have violence generated during this scene. Mm-hmm. And so you use total number of violence die to the number of violence surrounding. The winner of the conflict narrates the conclusion of the scene. They must include any resulting violence, which can be interpreted as physical or psychological if the winner desires, which will affect one character in the scene. No pushes. The loser loses a number of dice from their pool equal to the difference between the last bid and the number of matching dice. So Lulu, you are down to 3 dice.
Okay.
In your pool for the time being until a thing happens that allows you to recover them.
So I lost 2?
So you're down to 3 dice in your pool. You lost 2
okay.
dice. Yeah.
That's me, Danny.
So Dingo, you get to narrate the end of this sequence and this scene. Basically, that's the sequence and scene. Same thing. You get to narrate what happens.
Okay. So I think the taxi driver is able to keep a fair distance away from the SUV. And okay. I think they're able to keep a fair distance from the SUV. And Danny, that's the second time I've done that. Danny follows them until they pull off into a side alley, and she has the taxi driver pull over, pays him, gets out, and sort of walks over to the alley, and we see her sort of like peering around the corner, maybe hiding behind a dumpster, and watching these folks get out of the SUV. And it looks like they're behind what looks like a nightclub. The door to the nightclub opens and you can hear the music sort of blaring out. And Connie steps out of the nightclub and hands something over to the drivers. We don't see what it is, and then shuts the door.
Okay, I guess Connie's behind some of this is going on.
Wow.
I like how the genesis of the character went from, oh, she's dead, to, now she's a part of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
that's how the dice swings.
Yeah, I know. It's how it goes, man.
Crazy.
All right. So go ahead and move the witness and write a name in the square.
Oh, I can only move in one direction, right?
Yeah, at this point, you can only move. Yeah, I'll put one there.
I think I'm actually gonna put down. They don't have to have been in the scene, right?
They don't have to have been in the scene, but they should reflect your character's suspicions.
Okay.
So if you've got reason to be suspicious of someone else, then you can.
I mean, I'm suspicious of Connie, but I'm also kind of suspicious of Logan.
That's fair, given what's happened.
I keep spelling Samuel wrong.
Is in fact the angel Samael. All right. Cool. All right, that ends that chapter. I'm gonna move the gavel over, and Anino is the authority.
I'm gonna get rid of these dice.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look at them.
I don't want to see him anymore. Let me recall
I
all
want to
those.
see them. I'm trying to think of which one I want to do next. So I think I want to do an investigation scene. And I think I'm going to have, I think the scene I want is the next morning. Danny's going to have Poppy call her contact on the roses, who Danny knows is Dr. Alexander. And she's going to go with Poppy to meet up with him. Unless, Nino, you have another scene in mind that you would want to do.
No, this is good.
Okay. Yeah, I think if I can narrate here, Poppy and Danny go to their usual like brunch mimosa spot to meet up with Dr. Alexander, and it's probably not as like swanky as a lot of the places that Marcus Alexander goes.
Oh, it's so not.
It's a little divey. It's like a really old diner.
He wasn't always rich, you know.
Oh, that's true. So he might have been here before. But yeah, I think they're sitting on the same side of the booth, getting coffee, and I think Poppy's probably gotten a mimosa.
But she probably is like, she goes to drink it and she's like, oh no, your car. You can drive my car, right? And then she drinks. And she gives you a key.
Yeah, she gladly takes the keys. And kind of perks up when Marcus walks into the diner.
And Poppy like jumps up to give him a hug. She's like, hey, how have you been? She has no idea about.
Dr. Alexander is not going to hug back. He's going to look kind of weirded out and a little uncomfortable about his personal space getting invaded, because in his eyes, he and they're not very close. They're acquaintances or things like that. But it's very charming that she would be so friendly. But then he'll look over her shoulder and then look at Danny, and then his face will just go neutral. And he'll
Yeah.
do a cool nod and greetings like, well, if it isn't the sugar baby.
Hi.
Sugar baby.
What? Danny, what?
Oh, that's a funny story, Poppy. That I'll probably tell you another time. You can just forget about it, probably.
But
And I think Danny kind of shifts uncomfortably.
Yeah.
you so judged me that one time.
I didn't judge you. I just said that it was probably a bad idea.
You
And
bought
prob-
me brunch.
Yeah, but still a bad idea. Just very bad vibes coming from that one. Listen, hi, Dr. Alexander again.
Wait, do you know him?
We've met.
Yeah.
Did you get
we did.
surgery? Are you okay? Danny.
I'm fine, Poppy.
Oh, thank God.
So you see, Dr. Alexander is gonna pause for a moment, but then take a seat in the booth. Things sort of falling into place for him, since he is, a little bit on the higher end of the intelligence spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna fish in his pocket for a napkin and toss it out in front of Danny and be like, "Oh, so you left this on my jacket." And when she opens it up, it's the bug that she had planted.
Yeah, I don't think she even has to open it up because it was one of her own handkerchiefs. So I think she recognizes it immediately and is like,
Yeah.
"Just gonna that back, put in my thank
Oh my
you
gosh, you
for
still have
bringing
an
it back."
MP3 player? Danny.
Yeah, that's what that is, Poppy.
Wow.
You know me, I'm an old soul.
You're so vintage. It's adorable. Isn't she cute?
Yes, it's very, very hipster.
We went to
old
college
fashioned.
together.
Did you know? That is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Just, I don't think everyone needs to know our whole life story, Poppy, but
Yeah.
gosh,
Sorry.
I just adore you.
Oh, so what other things do you know about Danny over here?
Well-
I'm gonna flag down a waiter for a cup of coffee, and obviously he's not going to be going anywhere for a while, but he seems to be enjoying torturing Danny and just leaving her in the wind.
Yeah, Danny kind of pipes up and says, "Well, actually, Poppy and I work together quite frequently. We're actually working together right now, and I'm just gonna level with you. Poppy and I are working on well, she's working on a
Oh.
piece, and I'm working a case. And we sort of realize that we're sort of working the same lead with the roses."
Oh, that's interesting. And so how did you find out that connection? Did you get a good earful from the bug that you had placed on me?
I might have.
Yeah. So he's just gonna nod, lean back in his chair. You can tell he's kind of angry, and it's sort of seething on the other bottom, but it doesn't look like he's going to lash out in violence.
I think Poppy just looks a bit sick. At the mention of what happened. So I think actually for once she'll be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, the roses. So it's really refreshing to know that you've heard about the roses now. So has your mom told you about the roses yet?
Yeah, I think Danny pauses, trying to like disguise the pause under like taking a sip of coffee.
Oh, you know her mom? She's gorgeous. Isn't she lovely? How do you know her?
We dated.
What?
What?
Danny,
uh,
are you...
uh,
Oh, wow.
I,
Oh my
I
gosh.
I apologize. I didn't realize you knew my mother that way. Seems like
Biblically?
I think Danny is just like moving down in her chair. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people know my
Poppy's
mom.
like glowing. She's like, oh my gosh. I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. She helped me a lot with my amateur photography.
Oh.
Oh, I hate this.
What kind of photography do you do?
Poppy, don't ask that question.
What?
Tasteful photography.
So I take it then my mom has been to the Roses.
Well, you know, our relationship soured when your mom decided that she would blackmail me.
I'm sorry, what?
Your mom blackmailed me. I'm surprised she didn't tell you or include you or give you a piece of the very hefty sum of, and he'll name the figure that happened to be on the invoice.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. But Danny will remember. And yeah.
Doctor, I mean, Danny's mom is so sweet. She does investigating stuff, but it's like not blackmail. Is it, Danny? Do you blackmail people?
No, I don't blackmail, but I'm starting to...
Invasion of privacy, however.
I do what I can to get to the truth. We have the same goal here, Dr. Alexander. I just want the truth.
Ooh, you. Oh, it's a very fascinating way of going about it. So did your mom tell you why she blackmailed me?
I'm beginning to learn that she doesn't tell me a lot of things.
Oh. So she hasn't told you about how deep her ties are to the Roses.
Just how deep do they go?
Well, she blackmailed me for them.
For them, so she's a member. Is she like... I mean, I knew she knew about the Roses. I just thought that she had probably investigated it before. You're saying that she was a part of it.
Yes. So there are many parties to the Roses. While it is an organization, people tend to have their own agenda, let's say. And
Danny's mom wouldn't have done that to me. Danny?
No, I don't think so. She loves you. She loves you more than she loves me.
I know.
Dr. Alexander is just going to say, ouch.
Yeah. That's just like the whole... Ouch has just been the whole theme of my last few days, Dr. Alexander. So what, if I can ask, what was she blackmailing you for? Or what did she want?
I wanted out of the Roses. And I was threatening to reveal the fate of a certain Mr. Wunderhagen. But
the boat guy.
The boat.
He'll pause for a moment. The boat. Yes, the boat guy.
Yeah.
But
what exactly was the fate of Mr. Hagen?
Well, he's not exactly on a boat.
I figured nobody goes on an extended boat leave.
Well,
Hey,
no.
look, it's not my fault. I didn't realize that, Danny.
No, it's okay.
Well,
you're gorgeous and you're doing great.
Thank you.
Dr. Alexander's just going to roll his eyes and stare at the ceiling as if this was amateur hour. And
It is.
it kind of.
It's a little bit.
So anyway, I wanted out of the roses. Those white people are cray. But,
Yeah, tell me about it.
but she flipped the script on me. She said that she would reveal to certain members of the hospital board that I have been involved in an underground elitist dueling organization.
Well, I imagine you had to be there because others are there as well. It's like an appearance thing.
I was there as strictly in a professional sense in that I was treating anyone who got injured, inevitably.
Yeah, I hear a lot of injuries come out of that.
Yes.
Is that what happened to Hagen?
Yes. He was injured. I don't know who did it, but I was treating him and he asked me to fake his death.
What? Poppy's gonna like pause and be like, wait, so he is on extended boat leave. I was right.
Sure. Well, that explains the letters. How long ago did he ask you to fake his death?
18 months ago. He was injured after a duel. I hadn't seen the duel, but I got called in by your mother, in fact, who said that she needed help. So I treated Mr. Hagen. But he said that there was an opportunity for him to proceed with his agenda. And he asked me to keep confidence in that he was expired on my operating table.
People don't expire.
Why did... I'm gonna skip over that one. Poppy, it's a saying. Why would you do it?
Why would I do it?
Why did you fake his death?
I didn't
Why
want
would
to.
he want to fake his death?
That's a good question. I did not ask. Your mom would not tell me. And
Wait, so Viv wanted him to fake his death too?
I assume so.
I think they were in cahoots, actually. But I didn't want to know the details because the less I know, the better. I don't want to get tangled up in this crazy Dallas mumbo jumbo shit.
It's smart. I unfortunately don't have a choice.
So you didn't know that any of this was going on at all?
No. My mother doesn't tell me everything, it looks like.
Oh. He weaves a web quite well.
Yes, she does.
I'm sorry, your expression, Doc, was pretty funny.
You got something to add,
Stop making me-
Jim?
No, nothing. I'm just going to
Okay.
make notes. That's all.
Just trying to figure out how this all connects to Sam. Sam Logan. He's a member of the Roses, right? You've seen him around?
I have. I've treated him. You might have seen his scars. He's very proud of those scars.
He's weirdly proud of the scars. I've seen them too many times. More than I've wanted, which is at all. So, do you know him other than treating him?
I invested in his company, but he hasn't been very forthcoming about the returns on our investment. And so I have been less than pleased by it. And the wheels start turning, and he goes, "He hired you, didn't he?"
He's an old friend of mine and my mom's. I'm just doing him a favor.
Oh, that is fantastic.
But it's okay though, because
you?
Danny's really smart.
You know, I think, Poppy, I love that you think so highly of me, but I'm starting to think maybe I'm not smart enough to crack this nut.
No, Danny. All we gotta do is just talk to Cauliflower about it. He always helps you think things through.
I think Danny jims
Dr.
the camera, but at Dr. Alexander. Just this like...
So Dr. Alexander is going to give that look, that pretty popular meme of the guy just blinking and going,
Yeah.
"Cauliflower?"
Cauliflower is my cat.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to lean back in his chair and kind of wonder more about Poppy and how he, a really smart man, and, you know, Danny, also presumably an intelligent woman, ended up in her orbit.
Danny knows the like look of how did I get here, because Danny has had that moment many times around Poppy.
In that,
Anyway,
I'm not really sure how I thought that I could help Poppy bring down the roses.
you know, if I've learned anything, especially from last night, don't underestimate Poppy.
Yeah.
So, Logan, he's been sketchy at the returns on your investment.
Well,
Big
he doesn't
surprise
return my phone calls, and he happens to always be away when I try to visit his offices.
How long's he been doing this?
Since the announcement of their launch party.
You plan on going?
I might.
Well, if you do, give me a wave. I'm on the list, apparently.
Me too. It's gonna be
That is-
so much fun.
That is fantastic. So are you going to be each other's dates to this?
Aw, Danny.
I mean, yeah. We can be each
Aw.
other's dates for it.
That's
Mhm.
precious.
But I'm going as a serious journalist. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing an article. So, you know.
Dr. Alexander's going to go, "Oh, right, yes, totally."
If the two of you will excuse me, I think I need to go make a phone call. And then she's gonna climb out of the booth, probably having to go over Poppy. And that's where I want to end the scene.
Are we good with that?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
good. You guys with it? Was that okay?
Unless you really want to chat to Poppy.
Oh, this was so good.
That was awesome.
I love that scene so much. Well, you know what to do. Go ahead and move the witness.
Oh, that's right. No, apparently I don't know what to do. I'm going to put down Vivian.
Okay. Damn, we are getting so close now. All right. Excellent. Well, I think now would be a good time for us to go to break, if we're good with that.
Yes.
All right. We'll be going on break for like 5-10 minutes, and then we shall return as this is heating up and more blocks are falling into place. Or out of place, I'm not sure which. We'll see you shortly.
They're just falling.
They're just falling. Blocks everywhere.
It's raining blocks.
We'll be right back. We have returned, and once again, we are getting really close now to revealing something. Not sure what yet, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. We have returned. I am the authority at this point, and so Dingo, you may propose a scene.
I think I'm gonna propose an investigation scene, and I'm gonna jump ahead to the pre-release party.
Well, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Now I get a die back. I lied before. I did not get a die back before. I thought I had, but it's now I'm back up to 4 dice. Sorry. So, I think that they rented out a it's like they rented out a ballroom or a big sort of ballroom dining tables probably type affair for this thing. I guess that Logan is going ahead with it because I guess have you been in communication with Logan in the interim?
I think she texted him and said Connie's okay, but I don't think she's been in contact since.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So let me pull up also, because I'm just remembering that I need this this little chart, because you're about to run into a bunch of people.
Yay!
And that we've got at least 3 more character slots we can fill if we so choose. So I'm opening that. So, as you are, do you do anything to prepare for this? What do you do to get ready?
Oh, Poppy is all over her.
Yeah, I think we see like a short montage sequence of like Danny sitting in her desk chair, kind of like slumped and just like hurry up, and Poppy's just like running around. There's like cuts of like 8 different outfits. She's like pulling on her hair. She's, you know, taking off her glasses, putting them back on, taking off her glasses, putting them back on, doing her makeup. So yeah, I think she's all done up for the pre-release party.
Glad we got a montage in there. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just like girls just want to have fun playing in the background.
Yeah.
Totally.
Very 80s.
And I think she takes Poppy with her, because Poppy has a car and Danny doesn't. And they pull up to the pre-release party.
Okay.
I think they get there a little bit early. It's probably not like in full swing yet.
Yeah.
That is not very fashionable.
I know Poppy's not
Danny's
thrilled by
not
this,
very-
but like
Yeah.
she's
Poppy.
like Danny's also let her do her makeup, so she's like, okay, compromises.
That's fair.
Poppy can totally like, maybe Poppy like waited in the car because there's no way that she has to be
No, like, I feel
fashionably
like
late.
Poppy's probably tried to like coordinate their outfits, so she's like, no, gotta enter with me, or it doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Sorry. go
yeah,
ahead.
she pulls up.
I am imagining. So, I'm wondering if this is actually like, if this dining hall is up on like at the top level of a high building. Where you can like see out to see the city that very closely resembles Seattle, outside.
So like a ballroom at like the top of like a really tall skyscraper or something, and then like it has like a open roof.
Yeah.
with like lights and stuff, like where the party is happening, and then there's kind of like inside where like the dining hall is.
Yeah. Like Skyreach Plaza. Does that sound good?
Sure, love that.
So you're at the top of Skyreach Plaza, and you can see the Space Needle from here, and various other things that I'm sure are in there that I have no idea what they're there, but it looks like that, whatever that is. Anyway, so the two of you arrive on the top floor, and you give your invitation after you step off the elevator to a security guard who'll take in there. They're all wearing the black suits, and they've got the earpieces in, and so they see your invitations, and then they'll escort you in. I'm thinking that this is one of those things where you probably have an assigned table where they're going to want you to sit. But they have that going on. So you're going to end up as you're walking. You see that you're a bit early. So the musical acts they've got set up haven't really started yet. It's just, and they haven't really started serving anything yet. It's mostly just it's like a couple of tables off to the side with little finger food type things if you want those.
Oh, hell yeah!
The mingling time,
like first thing
for early arrivals. So not that many people are in at first. There is music playing through the speakers, and I think you don't see Logan. You know that he's probably he's here. You know he's here somewhere, but he's busy getting crap ready, and I think that as this sort of as time is going on a little bit, you eventually will find your way to your table. And let's see if there's an interesting...
Am I at the like important people's table, or am I like in the back where like the no names are?
So I think Constance was the one that seated you. So you're probably at the at one of the more obscure tables off to the side.
The kiddie table.
Yeah, you're probably at the kids' table. No, it's not. There are no kids here, but the kids' table.
Right.
You with the does fade kids.
We don't know who these people are, but
yeah. So let's see who they've put you next to. Could I get you to roll for me?
Sure.
What die do I want? I want a D12.
You got it. That's an 8.
Oh my, okay, great. All right, let's go with that. Okay. And so yeah, okay. Let me look at the left-hand side of this. My screen is going weird here. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to need a D6. Yes, a D6.
You got it. That's a 6.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay.
Hang on. I've got to generate a name real quick.
I don't like the giggling. You're making me nervous.
All right.
That just causes his laugh to get even higher pitched. And
All right. Let's see. Someone let me know if this person of interest is male or female or other.
Oh, so it's a new character.
Yes.
let's go with female.
All right. All right. Let me grab this real quick. All right. So you are seated next to this lady in a red cocktail dress.
Carmen Sandiego?
Kind of, no. Close.
She wears a trench coat. Right.
That's right.
And a top hat.
She is not wearing any of those things right now, as you're sitting and watching. But she's just sort of, and there's no one else at this table right now. But she does have, like, as you're sort of looking around the room, you notice there are a couple of big, beefy gentlemen standing just a little bit of ways from her that are not part of security here.
Interesting.
And she just sort of nods to the two of you as you sit down. As the music starts playing, you see they actually bring on one of the bands, and there is some local a local musician that it comes out on stage that someone may feel free to create as another character if they so desire. I'm thinking right now something pseudo techno is
Sounds about right.
going to be happening as for their opening act, and just sort of this lady, she's got very, very sort of ash blonde hair. She sort of looks, they're always so very loud, very loud. It's
great, isn't it?
Russian?
Can't make it out. Can't make out it. A bit fit, but it's people seem to like it. Yes.
Yeah, it's not really my my taste, but it seems like people will like it.
Yeah.
I'm Danny, by the way. She sort of holds out her hand.
She very she seems to be very genteel. She takes her and Alexandra.
Alexandra, nice to meet you. Are you a investor in like Katie or?
Something in that way. I've got to do these things to keep busy sometimes. One needs to try to invest in something, yes.
Well, I suppose. I don't really know. I'm not really an investor in anything.
Oh no?
No, I'm just here because I'm a my mom is a friend of Samuel Logan's, so I'm on the list.
Ah. Well, anyone who has met Samuel is someone I believe they can think themselves a friend of his, or so he likes to project.
Yes, he's a very friendly person. I can't say
Gregarious.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the word.
I think actually while this is going on, I think Poppy is kind of there's just a tiny spark of recognition of this individual, and I'm going to send Lulu a little note real quick.
Okay.
To tell you who this is, and you may decide how much of this Poppy realizes.
I think in the meantime, Danny's just been kind of. She's got like a whole plate full of those cocktail weenies and like little like those little finger sandwiches, and God, I'm starving.
and Poppy's like, I don't eat that, but she's totally picking them off Danny's plate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Danny's like opening up the little sandwiches, like, do you want the little cucumbers? You can have those.
Yeah, I love cucumbers. And she's probably like, as she's eating, she's like bopping along. Like, this is great. This is fun.
So do you know Mr. Logan personally? Or, I mean, I've only kind of talked to him a few times.
I've met him a few times. And occasionally it's there is meetings and such. He has investors come by and so I go in. I go in. I ask him to show me what is going on, and he shows me what is going on. He's very generous in that respect.
Huh. So do you own your own company, or?
No, not these days. No, I just sort of sit back and like to look for opportunities.
You invested in that makeup brand, right?
Yes. They did not quite as well as I was hoping, but they're decent folks. They do the kind of they don't do the kind of testing anymore that they were accused of a while back. It is
Yeah,
better now.
Danny and I are wearing it tonight. The first environmentally friendly makeup.
You are?
Oh my God. Yeah. It's great, right?
It's good.
It totally contoured her face. How did you find that company?
Well, you dig for a while. You have friends of friends. They know people, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes it works out that way. That one I got lucky, I do have to say. What do you do?
Me? Oh, I work for BuzzFeed.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. I wrote an article on your makeup. That's why I got sent all the samples, and it was so exciting.
Oh, good. I liked that article. I think I remember.
Yeah, I think your people read it before we were allowed to publish it.
They have. My people like to play these games sometimes.
I mean, it makes sense. You got to make sure your image is just perfect. I'm also a writer for BuzzFeed.
What?
We work in different departments.
Oh, right. Yes.
Danny.
She's gonna kick you under the table.
The band changes, and you see that and a couple of folks, a couple of guys with guitars come out and are singing very soulfully right now, and you see that there's a big big monitor that they've got up where they're showing just different. It's got like a Lit KD logo on it. It's sort of rotating, and you see there are folks coming around. One security folks comes around and just says, "Oh, they're going to be making they're going to be starting things up, making an announcement in about 5 minutes. Looks like."
Great, can't wait.
There's a lot of thrumming.
Yeah, I think she's sort of trying to talk loudly over the music. Yeah. Excuse me, ladies, I'm gonna go find the restroom. I'll be back in a little bit.
Very good. Yeah, I will say that, Danny, there is something about Alexandra that you recognize, but I don't know if you've quite put your finger on it.
Okay.
I think Poppy might accompany Danny, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where this is going. we may.
Yeah, so Danny's kind of walking off, and when she sees that Poppy followed her, she sort of leans over and is walking around and looking around, going, I need to find Logan before that announcement goes out.
Yeah, finding Logan is a good idea.
Yeah. Who the hell was that?
Oh, Danny. You know how in college there was that group of kids that we never spoke to because they sold things that weren't good for us? And
You talking about drug dealers?
mm-hmm. Shh,
Yeah,
don't
okay.
say that word. People think you're bad. I mean, when I wrote the article on her, you know how I was dating that girl who did all the coding and could break into things? I thought it would be cool if I could do that and like find out if they were actually testing on animals or not. And we did that, and we didn't find out makeup stuff. And all I know, and you can never ever tell anyone, this is the biggest pinky swear we've ever had. All I know is that she's a very bad woman. And something happened where she made a deal of something, and then nobody ever talked about it again.
Okay, but so you don't know anything. How am I supposed to, I can keep this promise because there's nothing to know.
No, she used to be the head of a syndicate.
I think that's going to be... so two things happen when she says that to you. One, the penny kind of drops. You realize that Alexandra's last name is Yegorovich. And that she was a mobster. Shoot.
Yeah, I think Danny goes white. Like, just ghostly.
Yeah.
And Poppy's like, we can't be alone with her.
She made a deal with the cops, apparently. That's the and so that's why she's at liberty at this point. So that's the first thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that we're seated
Uh-huh.
at a table with someone in the mob?
I tried to tell you. That's why you can't lie to her about being a Dustfeed. She'll find out and hunt you down and shoot you.
Yeah, the Russian mob will fuck you up.
Yeah.
So as you're saying that, the second thing that you see happening is that the elevator dings, and you see
Poppy jumps.
You spot Dr. Alexander and your mother coming in.
Mrs. Sullivan.
They haven't seen you yet, but maybe they have now. Poppy just spoke up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Danny, is covering her eyes. Oh, of course. Poppy, can you run interference with my mom and Dr. Alexander while I go find Logan?
Yeah, I love your mom. But don't go near that lady, okay?
Okay, I
promise.
I'm never going near that table again. And yeah, I think Danny's gonna try to run off in the other direction to find Logan.
So you're racing through the crowd. You think you spot him briefly going behind a curtain.
I'm going behind that curtain.
So you're racing toward the curtain. The musician the music has stopped, and an MC has come out.
No.
And said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've got if we can take just a moment. We're going to be getting your orders, but we're very excited to have you here tonight." And he was basically starting to do a spiel, and you throw back the curtain, and you see that Logan is getting ready to go up on stage. He's doing this thing. But then his phone buzzes, and he's looking down in it, and he looks at it kind of in horror. He looks back and he looks back. He sees you. The MC says, "Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Samuel Logan," and the lights go out.
Fuck.
Everything's quiet for a moment. Then the monitor picks up again. And this static comes across it. And you hear there's a very vague figure that you can see in the static. And you hear a voice that comes out and it says, "You have all been judged guilty by the Tempest." And yeah, I think this is the point at which you hear a hissing sound.
Oh no.
And the emergency lights have come on. And you're starting to see people just sort of starting to slump over a little bit at the tables.
No.
On one end of the room is
Oh no.
sort of visible gas seems to be coming out of something. The security guards are panicking, trying to get people out of the room.
Grabbing Logan and I'm going to run out the back door.
I'm feeling as though we are having a conflict. I feel a conflict coming on.
Yes.
I imagine there's a
Great.
conflict happening right
I
now.
hope not.
This is great.
I have 4 dice.
Ooh.
This is a regular conflict, so let's go back to this. What are your goals?
To get out of there and not die
Not dying is
with
good.
Logan.
My goal is to slay most of the people in the room.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my god.
here we go. Again, I'm gonna draw 4 dice from the deck, and I think you still have 5.
Yep.
Excellent.
She can only save one person. So not only is she saving Samuel Logan, her client, but she's leaving her mom
That's entirely possible.
and Poppy.
Well, she's also
Can't get to them.
she also, if she wins this, she does get narration, so she might be able to save them that way. But we'll see.
I'm gonna save everybody.
We'll see what happens.
I want to save the world.
Let's see. Are you aiming for violence?
No.
Okay. All right. You may choose a die from the violence deck.
Cool. Oh no, I don't want to draw. I want to choose. I guess this. No. Wait. This one.
Well, my answer is yes. So I'm going to. So my next step I do after we roll the public violence die. Wait. It's going to random side. Oh, it's a 3 again. Okay. It's the Knight of Threes.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do now is I take a 3 from the violence deck and I put it right there. Assuming I can actually see it. There we go. Flip card. There we go. Awesome. And let's see. Next step is it's your bid. You get to make a bid.
Okay. I'm gonna say that there's at least Oh God, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna go with 1.
Oh. Yeah, now remember that one is for the if you're making an ace bid.
Okay, I'm not
So
making any.
those are the smaller ones. Yeah. So it's just you just use this one if you just want to if you're only bidding one.
1 6.
All right. And you want to roll anything?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so drag one of the dice at least that you're not re-rolling out to your square there. And flip it over. All right. Interesting. Okay. Remember, ones are wild here. But then, once you've discarded the number of dice that you want to replace, go ahead and draw that number of dice from the gray deck.
Okay.
All right. And it's to me. So you've bid 1 6. I see you have at least a 4. And so let's see. All right. I am going to re-roll 2 dice. So I'm going to drag these 2 dice out.
Wait a minute. Can you re-roll before you?
Yes, you can. Before you make your bid, absolutely. It's before or after your bid.
Okay.
I'm going to reveal this card, this die, and I'm going to randomly draw the 2 dice that I just discarded. And my bid is going to be for 4 4s. And now it's to you.
Okay, so if I raise, I have to raise the amount and the number value?
Either one. So if you go above, so for example, you bid a 6 and I was able to go back down to a 4 because I moved it up the conflict track. So you can either, if you want a counter bid, you can either move the die up the conflict track, or you can just keep it at 4 and change the number on the die. Keep in mind, if you do that, I did want to specify, when I rolled, I was committing to making a bid. I had to make a bid at that point.
Okay.
I couldn't have just rolled and then called. So you can roll before or after you bid.
Okay, I'm gonna roll before.
Okay. And then
I still have to reveal 1, right?
Yes, you have to reveal at least 1 die that you're not rolling.
Okay. I'm gonna say there's 5 4s.
Okay. Let me see. All right. I'm going to call. I think I'm going to. Actually, no, I'm not going to call. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to say there are 6 4s, and I will re-roll 1 die. after I reveal this one. There we go. All right. And now it's to you.
I'm gonna call.
All right. So the bid is mine at 6 4s. We are all going to reveal our dice. Oh, crap. I just deleted my die. That's not
Oh
good.
no!
Can you do Control Z? Will it work?
Undo. Undo. Yes! Yay! That would have been a disaster because that was a 4. And that was a 1.
Crap.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 4s effectively on the board,
Crap!
which means that I win the conflict. Unfortunately, they're not 3s, but that said, you did re-roll. Let's let's look back at this real quick. So we're at the calling phase. We revealed our dice, tallied the number, and whoever made the last bid is, yes, that's I won. But if you're holding a violence die and you made a reroll, which I think you did at some point,
Yes.
you rolled your dice. So go ahead and drag your violence die out and don't flip it over. Just put it somewhere on the table.
Yeah.
And then draw. Don't choose a die from the violence deck and drag it onto the inside of the conflict track. And I'm hoping for a 4. And go ahead and flip it over.
It's a 2.
All right. All right. And so we don't have anything matching the bid, so there's no violence generated on characters. I cannot generate violence against you on this.
Okay.
But I do get to narrate the conclusion of the scene.
Yeah, okay.
So, let's see. So, you're trying to get Logan out. I think that what happens as this is going on is there is a blitz of activity as security guards come from pretty much every corner to try to deal with what's going on. And of course Logan is a priority, it seems, for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they grab him and hustle him out of the room, like immediately. These two guys. You also note that the two guys with Alexandra, they basically immediately get her out of the room. Where was Poppy was talking to Viv and Dr. Alexander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to say that, people start dropping like flies. And I think that Dr. Alexander is smart enough to be able to realize what's going on pretty quickly and gets Viv and Poppy back to the elevator. Because I can't inflict violence on them. I didn't get any violence, but I think that both Viv and Poppy at least are coughing a little bit from this stuff, and yeah, Danny,
I would argue that Dr. Alexander might have some spare masks in his pocket, just in the event that he needs to treat someone in the emergency.
Yeah, I think he probably would. So yeah, he's eventually. So he gets masks onto them. You were just off stage, So, yeah, you basically see musicians and other folks. One of the you are herded out the door along with the musicians, and you end up next to the techno guy, who's also trying not to cough his lungs out as this is going on. I don't have a name for him yet. He's just techno guy. I don't know if he's going to be important or not.
Let's call him Space Pants.
Space Pants. Okay, so you get brought outside with Space Pants, and by outside I mean there's a balcony where they bring you, and there's a lot of sort of alarms are going off, chaos is happening, and I think that you see at the end, at what I think we're going to see happen is that you see a couple of more beefy security guards come out looking around, and they just sort of look over in your direction. And see, did you see Mr. Logan out here? Where's Mr. Logan?
Yeah, I look around. I just saw him backstage.
Who?
There's two bodyguards. They took him outside.
They look at each other, and they're like, "Oh crap! No, they didn't. Those weren't our guys." And I think we're gonna end that scene there.
Crap! Of course they weren't. Crap!
Oh, you're in so much trouble.
Oh, I'm screwed.
You may move the witness.
Yeah, well, I can move in one direction, and I'm gonna put at this point I don't even know.
So many suspicious people. But you want to put Space Pants' name down there. That's the important one.
I guess Space Pants is definitely. I mean, Alexandra was escorted out by her own bodyguards, so I don't think Danny would suspect her other than the fact that she is in the mob. But this doesn't seem like a mob thing. This doesn't feel mobbish. This feels... I didn't see Connie, and that would track because she's been kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
Chilling out in a nightclub.
Yeah.
Well, this is the second mention of the Tempest. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to figure out what the Tempest is. I guess I'm gonna put down Alexandra for right now because that's the closest, like, that this could potentially have mob ties.
All right.
I'm just gonna hold on. Okay. Oops. Let me edit that. And then I get to put down one more, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to connect to anything. It can be anywhere on the board.
Oh, her name's too long.
Sorry.
That's fine. We get it. I don't. I can't put myself in another suspicion square, right? Because then I would just have to do it again.
Well, you're not moving the pawn. You're just putting another name down. So you could put it in the other. You can put it in another suspicion square if you want. That's fine. You just won't be able to move into that square if
I can't move into that square anyway, so I think I'm gonna put.
Oh, you're gonna put it in the one up.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the one up top.
Okay.
I'm gonna put down.
Yeah, and you can put anyone's name there. It doesn't have to have anything to do with your suspicions.
That's true. I can just put anyone down.
You could put Space Pants if you wanted.
I kind of want to put Space Pants.
Space Pants is guilty.
I was kind of joking, but feel free if you want to do it. We can make it happen.
No, I'm gonna put down. I'm gonna put down Sam again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Space Pants has never done anything wrong. He's like, that's not true, and we all know that's not true.
You just heard him do something wrong. A crime against humanity.
We were all there. We heard it.
He does not understand techno.
Poppy read an article about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's the end of that sequence. I think we're getting close. I think we might have time for like one more scene, maybe, well, depending on what happens, and then we'll be close to 9. So Lulu has the gavel.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Alrighty.
I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Okay. I'm gonna go for another revelation.
Okay. What kind of thing were you intending?
Well, I'm actually gonna choose the character, and I'm going with Alexandra. So Alexandra is definitely involved.
Okay.
And we've established that you know stuff about her before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I believe you choose either who it's definitely not involving, or you can choose the least likely relationship type, like a relationship type that it's not.
Yep.
I think I'll go for relationship.
Okay.
Type.
So you get to choose between romantic, familial, and business.
So it's a D6, right?
Well, no, you get to choose which one it's not going to be.
Oh, I choose which one it's not going to be?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll take familial out. I think it'll just be too tricky.
Yeah. All right. So then you get to randomly pick from the characters that are here. Actually, let me recall these dice. There are dice all over everything.
Yeah.
Let me recall all the
Dice everywhere.
conflict everywhere.
I don't want to look at these conflicts anymore. I hate them.
Yeah.
So stressful.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4,
All the characters.
7, 8. So that's like a D8.
Roll a D8.
So yeah, so Dingo gets to roll a D8.
Okay.
Okay. That's an 8.
No, I'm sorry. It would have been a D7 because Alexandra was already involved. I apologize.
Should we re-roll for an 8 then?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just bump it down?
For Alicia? I feel like
I'll
just
just roll.
re-roll.
Yeah, I'll just roll a D7.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
5.
What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Constance!
All right.
So there's a connection with Constance, and now we get to find out what kind of relationship that is. And it's, I guess you can do either. Do you want to do it as like a D2, or do you want to do it as a D4? How do you want to do it?
Let's do it as a D4. Okay. And then we'll just do 1, 2, and 3, 4.
All right. So 3 and 4 are 5 and 6 in this case.
Yeah.
Business. Oh, so now you must tell us how you find this out and what you find out about it.
I don't know. Okay.
So would this be like back in your office? Or would it be snooping? I guess you couldn't really go through files because there's been gas everywhere, so Logan's place is kind of out.
Oh, you know what? I think Danny goes back to her office. And I think that as she's sort of sitting at her desk and like rubbing her temples, she sort of opens her eyes for a second and then goes over to one of the filing cabinets. And she pulls one out. She sort of flips to the letter Y, and she pulls out an old case file on Yegorovich, back when her mother was doing a case involving the Russian mob. And I think as she's sort of looking through, she finds a picture of Constance with Alexandria. And I think she puts together through notes that Constance worked for Alexandra shortly before Logan. So I think Connie was in the mob with Alexandra before she worked for Logan, or possibly still currently.
So had like some kind of connection that your mom had noted down?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all that you get? You don't... I mean, I think I can see that it's like her should probably be listed maybe as like a side note. She might have been at a meeting or something that your mom listened in on, and that's how she came to know about her. But I don't really see like a whole like list of everything she did or anything.
No, I think it's just like it's a part of a different, like,
Yeah.
Connie wasn't like a suspect or anything. I think she just finds Connie's name under like a list of their contacts.
Okay.
But nothing she was really involved in.
Yeah,
Is,
she's just like a little
business
side note.
Yeah.
This business contact for Yegorovich. Yeah, and I guess you probably would need to do a bit of digging to find out if Constance was working for what she was doing at that time. If she was working for, I think she was. We said she was relatively new. How long has she been working for Logan? Did we say?
I think we said she was a couple of years older than Poppy, so maybe like 26, 27.
Right. Did we say how long she'd been working for Samuel Logan?
Like a year or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like a year.
Do you want
Yeah, I
to
don't
say
think it was
this
very
file
long.
comes from before then or after then?
Oh, it comes from before then.
Okay. I was just curious as to sort of where the timeline. Okay.
Yeah, it's a younger Connie.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean, if it was from her mom, it would have to be before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, definitely. So I just was trying to figure out the details. Awesome. Cool. Sorry, forgive me for bringing the dice back for a moment. I did not mean to taunt you with that. I just wanted to. I had to remember something. And
Violence die.
that is that. That is that.
As the authority, you get a paper cut.
Ow! You are. Is that one thing we forgot to do is that you since Dingo, since you lost that, you actually are down one die from your die pool because that's the difference between the bid and the number of dice. There are actually 7.
Boo.
There were 7, and the bid was for 6. So
All right.
yeah, so you're
So I'm down to
4
4 die.
Yeah. Okay, and I'll get rid of them again. But yeah, Lulu is still the authority. Let me ask briefly: do you want to start another scene, or do we want to call it here for this evening? I'm good either way.
I'm good.
I think I'd like to call it here.
All right, I'm fine with that.
gives us plenty to work with
Oh, yeah.
for our finale.
Yes.
So much trauma.
Excellent, excellent. Cool. All right, then. Well, we have made it to an interesting point. We'll still, when we resume next time, we're still in the same chapter. Lulu will be the authority. And it will be the finale. And so this is going to be very exciting. I am very curious to see what happens here. I have to throw chaotic things out. I don't understand why. It's just a thing that happens to me.
I understand. You're a force of chaos.
It's not intentional. It just sort of happens.
He says, throwing out Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I did name it that. Well, these things happen. But at any rate, this was delightful. I enjoyed this a great deal. Thank you so much for playing, everyone. This time I'm going to go in the opposite direction as before. He says as he's reading his script that he says every week, and ask folks to say what you thought of this session, if you have any, like a favorite moment or other final thoughts, and where people can find you online, what be going on. And once more, we shall start with our investigator, Dingo.
Hi, I'm Dingo. I don't know that I can pinpoint a favorite moment in this session, because I think this entire session has been my favorite session so far, of just like so much is happening. There was a freaking car chase. I always love Poppy's banter. I loved Danny being in the hot seat at brunch with Dr. Alexander. It was just... I almost turned my chair around. I was so mad. And I'm stressed out, but this has been absolutely great. You can find me on Twitter at Where's My Dingus. This week, I will be on Off the Table tomorrow night playing Monster of the Week. And then I don't have anything going on Saturday or Sunday, but Monday I will be back on Off the Table for Tales from Thersha.
Yay.
So that's everything going on with me.
Both of those are crazy awesome. I strongly suggest folks go and check that out, because it is really good. Let us move on to Anino.
Hey, so I'm Anino X Gaming. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Anino X Gaming, right there, handily under my picture cam. My favorite time was probably the diner. I was kind of ruminating about how that might go, and I didn't really anticipate Poppy being there, but that just made it so much better and more memorable. I have to go back and get a clip of that save, because that was really, really great. So,
Delightful.
So right now I don't have a set schedule for streaming on my channel, but I am anchoring a channel on the Extra Life national channel, and I am doing a stream every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So you can catch me there playing wholesome PC games, and hopefully not getting into too much trouble. But you can find that at Extra Life for Kids. I'll just type that in here really quick.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah, so you'll find me there.
Excellent. Definitely check that out. Very cool. And let us move on to Lulu.
Hi guys, I think this was a great session. I really loved it. I think my favorite moment was the reveal that it wasn't Logan's bodyguards. I think Danny's reaction was just fantastic. It was like so tense. You can find me on Twitch. I do study streams Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 5:30 p.m. GMT plus 10:30. And you can also see me on Tuesday night on Almighty Tales, where I play a Grumpy Druid, same time zone at 8:30. And of course, on Thursday, I also play Stars Without Numbers on Winged Horizon.
Excellent. This was awesome, and I adore Poppy. It is just glorious having her along.
Thank you.
I have to say I don't know. I enjoyed this session so much. These sessions just keep getting better and better, and so I'm really excited for next week. I cannot wait to see how this comes out. I think as far as this whole thing went, I think I'm gonna have to give it to the conversation with Dr. Alexander. That just sort of tied so much together that I really enjoyed that. I think that was that's going to be the thing I think was my favorite thing this whole session. Although pretty much everything else was also very close to that as far as that went. This was so cool. But once again, and also like next week, might be a slightly shorter session because. Our chart is pretty full at this point, but as you may note, the scenes are getting a little bit longer again as we're resolving everything. So I think it's going to balance out. I can't wait to see what happens. But once again, I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and the most recent short story I've released. This coming Tuesday, I'll be returning to Off the Table's campaign of Urban Shadows. Yay! Our group is starting our second season. It is an urban fantasy game that's powered by the apocalypse, and it is full of intrigue and despair. I cannot wait. And it's going to be delightful. But on Friday afternoons and Saturday and Sunday mornings, I play video games. Right now I'm playing through Torment, Tides of Numenera, We Happy Few, and the Gold Rush Anniversary Edition, respectively. On Sunday evenings, I do one-shots, and this Sunday we'll be playing Bad Streets, a 70s cop show style game that's powered by the apocalypse. We're doing a lot of that lately. It hasn't been published yet, but its creator, Jib, whom you may know from Happy Jack's RPG podcast, will be running it here. And I'm very excited for that as well. I've also opened sign-ups for next month's games. After this month, the next month-long weekly campaign will be Dungeon World. That is an epic fantasy RPG, again, powered by the apocalypse, that'll be on early Wednesday evenings. I'm still looking for some players for it. I've also got sign-ups for A Penny for My Thoughts, which is a story game about amnesiacs recovering their memories, and Life on Mars, which is another story game about the first manned mission to Mars. And so if you'd like to dive into any of those, you can follow the game sign-up link down below on my Twitch page or go to jimyesthatjim.com. As always, beginners are more than welcome. And then, of course, 1 week from today, we will be back for the conclusion of Dirty Secrets. When we go to the outro card, when we go to the end card, I'm going to raid... I think I always raid Tales from the Grim. I think today I'm going to raid Scraticus. Scraticus looks to be playing a video game right now. And so let's go and scare the bejesus out of him. I'm gonna go ahead and do that once we get that going. And but in the meantime, I thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care, and I will see you all of a sudden. Till next week.